This is a second installment for the Sony EVW300 Professional High 8 that we looked at several months ago. And I've been on and off this thing for hours. So I figured it's time to do a bit of an update to see what progress I've made and where we can go from here. This is an EVW300. This one was sent in from the same fellow that sent the other one in, which is still a work in progress because there was parts that had fallen off the board and so forth. And he felt maybe we could just take another camera and take parts off of it to fix his, or vice versa. Get one working out of two. This one here has, of course, has seen better days. It's got no lens on it for one. Looks like the glass here is damaged. The filter wheel's in behind there, but you can see this one here has certainly seen better days. That glass is bad. This one's completely dead. The hope is that that we can salvage some parts out of this one to fix the other one. But I'm not holding my breath on either of these units because these cameras are so bloody old. And I explained this to the fellow at the time, that it probably wasn't worth fixing, because what happens on these is all the capacitors go bad and they require total capacitor replacement. The problem happens though is that the boards themselves, the electrolytic leaks out of the caps and attacks the circuit boards in a lot of cases. So I don't know why this one's completely dead. I'm checking to check the fuses and see if there's fuses that are popped on here. This one's not powering up at all. But at least it's complete. Sometimes you buy things off eBay as, you know, parts machines, and you open them up and find that there's, you know, that there's boards that are missing. It looks like this IC may have been changed at one point. There's a whole bunch of flux around here on this IC. This one looks like this may have been changed at some point in the past. Let's do a quick inspection and see why this is not turning on, and see if I can get it to turn on, at least give me color bars. Obviously it's not going to get a picture because even if I pull the lens off the other one, this glass in the front here is so badly, I don't know if it's pitted or what it is, but it's looks to be more than dirty. It looks to be on the inside actually, so this may have had something spilt on it. But you can see, if you look inside it here, you'll see that there looks to be something inside the lens here on this glass. So obviously this whole unit would have to be replaced, or at least taken apart. It looks to be just on the back side of this filter. This is the UV filter, or infrared cut filter. I guess this is the IR cut filter here. It's kind of green, but you can certainly see something on the inside there. But this is a parts machine anyway, so we'll gut this for parts, see if we can get the other one working. I guess the only thing that I fail to understand is why someone wants to so desperately to get such an old camera running, because I certainly wouldn't be doing it myself. If it was mine, well, I had one. I got rid of it. I got rid of mine years and years ago, because I knew what was going to happen with those capacitors. I knew that the caps were going to all go bad, and it was going to be very difficult to try to maintain it, to keep it running. So I sold mine before they failed. Going to check the fuses in the back here. There's some fuses at the power supply. The main fuse is located on the back side of the power supply. It's right here. We're going to check that fuse and see whether it's popped. I guess when I gave the guy the original guesstimate on the other camera, I wasn't anywhere near high enough. That fuse is not popped. One of the reasons I try to discourage people from spending tons of money on fixing this old crap is that I guess I didn't give a high enough estimate. I quoted him what I thought he would say, forget it, just junk it or ship it back or whatever. And he wants to fix it. The problem is fixing this old stuff, whether he spends $500 or $700 or $1,000 fixing this camera. What happens in 4 months when it breaks again, right? That's why I always advise people, you know, you've got something that's this old, don't spend the money on it. I wouldn't spend it. If it was mine, I'd toss it out. I mean, I got a couple of old cameras like this that don't work, and I just keep them as display pieces. Prime example is the JVC, the EVW300 that I fixed. When was it? A few months back, I guess. It's felt like the second or third time I fixed it. Well, I was just playing around with some cameras there the other day, and I figured it was when I was doing the little test. I figured I would take the JVC out for the high-end DV. I ended up taking out the HDV camera, put in DV mode, but I was going to take out the JVC and use that. But it's been sitting for a few months after I fixed it last time. Guess what? It doesn't work again, because that's what happens with old electronics. You fix one thing, and a few months later, something else breaks again, and that's just the way it is. And that's the big reason why I advise people not to spend money fixing this old junk. I'm going to grab the original camera. We'll just swap the boards over from this one and see whether there's any difference in how the other one works. I'll pull the 4 boards out of this one. I'll show you the other one. We'll take a look at this one too and see how it looks, because the other one's got at least one transistor is missing off the board that I could see. It looks like it fell off just from corrosion. But I'll grab the other one and we'll pull the other one apart, because at least I know it turns on. And the color bar generator works. The camera just doesn't look very good. And the idea is he wants to try to make one camera work. And this is the spare parts one. And this one, I say, it's completely dead. So, and with that damage to the the filter assembly, this is one that really wouldn't be repairable anyway. And God only knows what else is wrong with it, because it was an eBay purchase. eBay parts for parts or repair. I hope you didn't pay too much for it. I see all kinds of old broadcast type cameras coming up on eBay and Facebook and stuff, and people want the world for them. And I like to collect them just as a showpiece. So I make people offers, and they say, "No, I want." Well, I think the last one was a guy was selling one, and he wanted to give me a deal, $450. I said, "Sorry, that's about $400 more than it's worth for something that's not working." So this is the one that we're trying to get going. And if we look at the boards here, one of these boards, I think it was this one. Is it this one? Yeah, this one here. Right down here. You can see where there was some traces have been damaged. And it looks like there's a transistor that's missing from the board. Let's take a look at the board from the other one, just for comparison. It's totally different. Here's the one out of the camera, the parts camera that's been brought in. It's actually had parts added to it. I wonder if it's the same. Looks to be the same. Is it the same number? Yeah, RP1 or PR159. So yeah, it's the same board, but this one's had a bunch of extra parts added to it. right here, which this one doesn't have. This is the one that's been damaged or burnt up, or parts missing, but this one's had parts changed on it. It looks like this one's had some caps changed on it before. So maybe this one's been recapped at some point. Well, let's try it and see. I'm going to swap all the boards over just for fits and giggles, as they say. I'll swap the boards from one to the other and just see if we get any different results. Okay, so now I've got the 4 boards from the donor camera up and put into the camera that we're trying to get going. I'm going to hook up power and see whether I get a picture. I have a picture, a very noisy picture, but I have a picture which is looking a lot better than when the original boards that were in here, but this one's obviously still got many problems, but at least it looks a lot better than it did with the original boards, which I'll put the original boards back in just so you can see how bad it looked. So there's the picture with the bad boards. You can see there's no green, right? So I'll swap the boards over. It's actually the one board it's just the one board that's bad, which is this one here, the RP159. That board is responsible for the color encoding, and if I swap over to the other one, you'll see that the green has come back. So that's got the color back to normal. This is the 3 boards. This is the original 3 boards from the camera in here. This is not the replacement ones. This is the original ones. Just the only board that's been replaced is that one. But I think I will probably put the other ones in. We'll see how they look by comparison. I'm just looking at how bad this picture is. This looks like a DC to DC converter problem actually from the power supply. That's what that looks like. I will put all the boards in from the replacement camera though, just because like this is the original one here. If we look at them, you can see that the boards are different. This one's actually got a conventional cap as opposed to this surface mounted electrolytic. This one's got another one replaced across it here. So I think that either they've been upgraded or maybe they were upgraded at the factory. The same goes for the ES4, which is this board here, ES4. You can see on here that this one's got like a cap down here, which this one doesn't have. It looks like that's been added after the fact. And it's had a couple caps over here. It's got a tantalum put in over there. And it's funny, this one's got conventional caps, where this one's got surface mounted on here. I'm sure these are all bad, but at least this one's had some of the caps have been replaced on here. So I think we'll go with these boards here, and then we'll see if we can get the unit running. And the last one, of course, is this one here. And again, you see, looks like this big cap right here. Actually, that one's there. Yeah, there's one that was used. This one right here has been replaced by that one, which looks like it's just paralleling this one here. And this one's got a tantalum over here that's replaced this one. So this one's been reworked. Well, they're both the same revision on it too. Except for this is showing 306 and this is 202. Like this is an older revision board, but this one looks like it's been reworked. But I think these other 3 boards probably are okay. The one that was causing the problem with the color is this one here. And this is the one that's got some damage right there. So all the boards have been replaced now. The picture on it now is looking better. It's not looking good, but it's looking better than it was with the others. So I think I'll leave those boards in, and we'll go with it from here and see if we can get the image improved. So as you can see, as this thing runs for a bit, the picture's improving. So we got capacitors that are certainly bad. I'm just going to let it run for a bit, get in with the cold spray, and see if we can isolate what area the bad caps are in. So I warmed the unit up a bit. And you can see the picture's actually gotten pretty good. So this is how I'm going to isolate this. I'm going to get some cold spray. I'm going to take it into this board here, the camera board. We're just going to give a short blast and watch what happens to the picture. So as you can hear, the picture has now gotten pretty bad. Now if we take my warm air gun, heat gun, but on low, and we'll just throw some warm air in here. So I think that pretty much localized what board the problem's on. One of these two boards here. More than likely this one. This is the camera process board. This is the one we will concentrate on. Now remember, this is the replacement board from the donor camera, because the other one had parts missing on the other side. So I'm going to concentrate on a couple of these caps down here, because this seems to be the area where I put the warm air in and the cold frost. But we'll change a few of these caps out, replace a few of these, and just see whether I can make an improvement in the picture. So I'm going to start out by replacing this 47 microfarad at 16 volts. I've already removed the dead one, and it was leaking. At this point, I've changed pretty much all the electrolytics on here. There's just like 3 or 4 left that I haven't changed on this board, and it hasn't really made much difference in terms of the picture. Maybe a little bit better, but still pretty unacceptable. I'm going to have to set this one aside again because I'm running out of replacement parts. I don't have all the caps required, and to change every single one of these things is just ridiculous. I'm changing all the ones that measure bad, and these were all open. These ones here don't test to be open. These ones actually test good on ESR meter. All the ones that have been changed were open, completely open on the ESR tester. So this is how the picture is looking now. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. I got to get some more caps. The other board that's next to it, which is the IE board, it also needs to be completely recapped. Every single one of them is measuring bad, so I got to get some more parts, and we'll continue this as we work our way into it. If you remember, though, how bad this looked when I started, it was really, really noisy. So we've made a significant improvement on the camera section. This is just the camera section that I'm working on right now. That's me adjusting the iris. Back focus on the lens. Anyway, I'm gonna end this one right now, and we'll pick this up at a future date. It's kind of more of an update for the guy that owns it, so he can see that I actually am working on it. I've had it for a few months, and I've got the spare camera now. We're starting to put things together, and I think we might be able to get this thing working at some point. So as it sits now, this board has been not fully recapped, but most of the caps have been done on. All the ones that measured bad were replaced. I probably should replace these last ones as well. These ones all test good. This board here, however, every single one tests bad. Just gonna put this back in. But every single one is open, so all these are gonna get changed out when I get some more. But that's going to have to wait until I can get into the parts store. So I'm just going to throw the side cover on it. Nice thing about these machines is that they're so easy to work on. You just, side cover just pops right off, and you're good to go. Now, let's see, even when I get the camera section working on this, though, I'm sure that the recorder section is going to need a whole whack of them as well. And it really isn't worth fixing. Anyway, till the next installment, thanks for watching.